Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Excellence, which you may have met. Coach Eric Schwaif, that's me. I am so glad that you're here today. Listen, if you aren't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button real quick so that you can get updates on when the next podcast is coming out. Usually it's a Monday or a Tuesday, and then Thursday for the stories. And then, of course, if you find value in this, then I ask you to simply just share it out on whatever platform you would like. You can tag us in it with the hashtag, or not the hashtag, with the at Schwafel_strength handle. That would be great. So y'all, let's go ahead and dive straight into this thing. This is entitled the Grow. Where do I have it? Grow the You Are Important attitude. Grow the You Are Important attitude. Okay. So the reason I talk about this is when you unlock excellence, we've talked about this. Unlocking excellence, first you have to define what excellence is. You've got to ultimately decide, okay, what it is that you're going to do, who is it that you're going to be in, and how you're going to move forward. Understand that that's, of course, going to change here and there at a time. But whenever you take off and you do new things, there's always going to be a seed of doubt that appears, right? There's always going to be a seed of doubt that appears. It's going to be that temptation that tells you that you're not good enough, or there's going to be that piece that says that you're unworthy, or that people aren't going to want to listen, or people are not going to want to buy, whatever it might be. There's going to be some type of doubt or some type of temptation that comes up that tells you you should not go forward with what you're doing. It's dumb. And there's no reason why you should keep it up, right? Those that want to get fit, what they're usually told is by themselves is, I can't lose weight. There's no way that I can make this commitment. I'm way too busy. There's so much going on in my life right now. I can't take time away for myself, right? So we have these excuses that come up, and I like to call it excuse-itis, personally, and a few other acronyms. But today, what we want to focus on is the mindset that comes behind it. So grow the You Are Important mindset. Because if you don't, then you'll never get what you want done. Everybody else is going to come ahead of you otherwise, right? Now, I'm not saying that you've got to become egotistical and arrogant and assertive, and I'm not saying that you need to be inauthentic or unauthentic. I'm saying that you want to be authentic, but you also have to develop within yourself that you're going to be important enough to put yourself first and put the priorities that need to be put first, right? So there are two things that happen here, right? Now, the first one, we aren't going to talk about, there are two big things. There's a few big things that we're going to talk about, but the first one is we're not going to develop right off the bat the I am so important mindset. We're going to grow the You Are So Important mindset, right? Okay, so what I mean by that, right? Now, this podcast, this is primarily for personal trainers, for entrepreneurs, for busy executives, right? It's for those that are in a producing stance of business, of their lives, in which they are responsible for people, for tasks, for different things, right? So where they come from is they are not here necessarily to consume information and do nothing about it, but you are here to consume information and implement and adapt that into your own life, right? Now, the few things that are incredibly important is, one, knowing who you are in your own life. You are the person that is responsible for getting results. But it's not just you, right? It's not just me. We cannot accomplish things on our own. We are interconnected with everybody in the world, okay? We're connected with everybody, and we need people in order to help us, and people need us in order to help them. Does that make sense, right? We are all connected in this. So when you're mean and rude to one person, you're mean and rude to yourself, and you're mean and rude to everybody else. Context, of course, right? So the first thing that you want to develop with your customers, with your clients, whatever it might be, you need to understand that customers, your clients, strangers, whatever. They're going to buy more from you, and employees will work harder for you, and associates and friends and family and people that you just give to will go out of their way and cooperate with you. Your boss will do more to help you if you only make people feel important. It pays big to make people feel bigger than they are. Now, what I mean by that is by shaking people's hands firmly, by looking them in the eye when you talk to them, by smiling, by asking about their day, by genuinely showing interest in people rather than having them become more interested in you, right? The big thinker always adds value to people by visualizing them at their best. Because he thinks big about people, he gets the best out of them. Now, here's the thing, right? We can look at somebody and immediately, subconsciously, we begin to judge that person. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad. That's not what I'm here to do. All I'm saying is that there are preconceived notions that come up in our head when we meet them, whether we know it or not. We know if we see somebody who we find threatening, that there's going to be a feeling that says, ooh, I shouldn't go over there, right? Or we know the feeling if somebody matches our energy and our essence and looks similar to us too, that we're going to be like, oh, this person is trustworthy, right? These are our systems and programs that we have developed over time. And I'm talking time, right? Like from our ancient ancestors to the 1900s to now, in order to determine what is a safe environment, who are possibly safe people, and how can we cooperate with them, right? So the thing that we want to do in these situations, if you want to view people as bigger as they are, and to view them not by their behaviors, but by their identity, right? Behaviors are choices, the results of choices that people make. That doesn't necessarily mean that is who they are, okay? So check it out. You could say that a client of yours has been doing extremely, extremely well, but one day they decide to go out of their way and just eat terrible for a weekend and a half, right? They completely blow it. Well, as a coach, as a trainer, you can do a couple of things. You can really harp down on this person, make them feel guilty, and punish them, quote unquote, for what they did. Or we can step back and we can view, why did this happen? What's the root? Where did this come from? And then more than likely, we'll see the reason behind what happened, right? That way, through understanding, we can have compassion rather than attack this person for their behavior, not for who they are, but for what they did, okay? So it's viewing the person as who they are and not just their actions and what they did, okay? So when you help others feel important, here's the big one. You help yourself feel important, okay? So the way that we do that is by simply showing up genuinely to the person we are interacting with. People who do not have a deep down feeling of self-importance are slated for mediocrity. Again and again and again, this point must be driven home, y'all. You must feel important to succeed, and helping others to feel important rewards you because it makes you feel important. So let's list a couple of different ways that you can do that, right? The first way is by practicing appreciation, okay? Practicing appreciation and gratitude. When somebody does something for you, don't just take it for granted. Appreciate what they're doing and how they are doing it, right? If somebody does an act of service or does one of the 5 love languages, right? Act of service, physical touch, quality time, gifts, and then words of affirmations. If somebody gives one of those to you, let them know that you appreciate it, right? And then Start to observe your fellow family members and your fellow friends and coworkers and see, and you can even ask them, see what is their love language, right? Words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service. They could be physical touch, which you might have to use in different places, and you know what I mean. You have to pick what's appropriate, of course. And oh my gosh, quality time, right? So choose what works best. Call people by their names. Practice calling people by their names. People don't hear that anymore. They hear babe, hey, man, dude, what's up? When you say, hey, Eric, or hey, Denise, or hey, Julia, hey, Sam, hey, Dave, whoever it is, when you call somebody by their name, oh my gosh, it grabs their attention and lets them know, hey, this person knows who I am. Just today in a workout class, somebody said, thanks so much for calling my name. It helped bring me back into the class. It made me feel safe. It let me know that I was being watched, and it let me know that I was okay where I was at, right? Sometimes it's a lot deeper than you think just by saying somebody's name. I love it when somebody says my name. Hey, Eric, what's up? I'm like, oh, God, I love that name so much. Now, most people might not, because usually I'd get called, like when I was a kid, Eric, it would always be for trouble. So anyway, people love having their name, hearing their own name, right? Another big one is don't hog the glory, invest it instead, okay? A good coach never takes the credit, or a great coach rarely takes the credit. I can't tell you how many times I've watched coaches who have won national championships. They have not taken all the credit. They gave it to their staff, and they gave it to their team. They gave it to their players. Why did they do that? Why? Because they know that a great coach doesn't take the credit he invested, right? Now, here's the other thing. When bad things happen, great coaches take the blame. They don't put that on their players. They put it on themselves. They're the ones to take the responsibility for it, right? So remember, okay, use people's names. Look them in the eyes, okay? I didn't mention that one yet. Look them in the eyes whenever you're talking to them. Use appreciation, practice appreciation, call them by their name. Don't hog the glory. Share the credit. Look them in their eyes. Give them a firm handshake. And remember, y'all, as you're speaking to them, 55% of what you say to them is body language. Or 55% of what you say to them is not said. Body language is 55% nonverbal. It's 55% nonverbal. So make sure you are aware of what your body is saying whenever you're talking to these people, okay? Make sure that you know what's going on. You have them at the forefront of your mind. You see them as the best possible version of themselves that they can possibly be. And look, if you're having trouble doing that with people and seeing that version of people, then dig into it deeper, okay? When you find yourself not being able to do something, whether it's because you're uninterested in it or because there's a block, you want to dig deeper and you want to learn more about it. This is going to set off your enthusiasm, and then it's probably going to bring some breakthroughs within yourself, from within yourself, right? Breakthroughs that you possibly didn't know you had going on. So remember that 100% that if you can't connect with somebody or someone, it might be because you can't connect with somebody or someone within yourself, that thing within yourself. Another big thing before I get out of here, right? Life up everything about you, okay? So when somebody sees your smile and they feel your handshake and they notice your speaking and they notice your walk and that you're acting alive and that you are genuinely excited to be here, your light is going to attract so many people because they're going to want to know, yo, Eric, what are you doing? Why are you so energetic? Why are you so on purpose? Why are you believing? Why does it seem like you believe something, right? Where does that come from? And they're going to be attracted to that. They're going to want to know that. They're going to be like, why does he think I'm so important? And then you just show them, okay? Broadcast good news. Tell everybody about it. Nobody loves a Debbie Downer. I'm sorry, negative Nancy. It just doesn't work, right? Nobody loves a Debbie Downer. So say good news, show appreciation at every opportunity, make people feel important, call them by their name, give them firm handshakes, look at them, keep proper posture, smile, show off those pearly whites, and enjoy the day. Focus on the positive. One thing I like to do is ask people, hey, what was your victory for the day? What was your win, right? And then I like to ask people, what were they thankful for? Why are you blessed? People don't think about that. Why am I blessed? Some people might say I'm not blessed. You got clothes on your back. You got a phone, right? You more than likely, you might have a car. You might not. What electronics do you have? Do you have a roof over your head? Are you able to eat every night? You have access to this podcast, so you have access to the internet. You yourself, if you have the internet, you are smarter. You are smarter than almost everybody was from like the 1970s and like beyond, right? Because I think the internet came out in like the 80s. Anyway, you have more at your fingertips than most people had for the existence of humankind. Think about that. You have more information available at your fingertips than most people did for the entirety of our existence. Imagine what you could do with that. Imagine what you could build with that information, with that leverage that you have. We have social media where we can get it for free. You can do anything that you set your mind to. It just takes a little bit of belief. And guess what? It doesn't even take belief. It doesn't even take that, because you can go on the internet and you can find whatever it is that you want. And if you want to accomplish something, I'm willing to bet that you could find somebody who's done it too. And you could find somebody who'd be more than willing to show you how to do it. It just takes ownership, and it just takes some action. And I believe that you can do this. I believe that you can step forward into any field that you want, wherever you want to go, and you can develop the strength, you can develop the resilience and the discipline in order to move forward. It just takes the first step. That's it. And it doesn't even have to be in the right direction. It just has to be a step. So get to stepping in a good way. I love you. I believe you're unstoppable. So if you don't, that's okay. I do. And of course, if you got some value out of this, let me know. Write a comment. Give me some feedback. Share this baby out. And I hope you have a phenomenal day. You're unstoppable. We'll talk soon. Peace.